Who here would sell their soul into opium? I think a lot of artists would. Speaking of that though, who would sell their, okay, so Kankan posted on, or actually on his Instagram live, he was talking about signing artists like people who don't, you know, like his fans basically, to 90 10 360 deals, meaning he gets 90% of your revenue, of all shows and everything, because obviously you wouldn't have any name if you're an artist who's trying to sign to Kankan. I think that's what a lot of people get, that's how they get taken advantage of, because a lot of people sign deals before they're even ready. So he's teaching y'all a lesson. But I think some of y'all in chat, and I'm not trying to talk shit, but I've seen it, maybe not in the chat because, you know, we smart out here, but people in the comments for sure would sign to Double R, get the chain just to rep it for free, selling your soul away. And the thing is, everybody starts complaining about artists, or the artists themselves, once they get famous, like, yo, I'm in a slave contract. It's like, you knew what you were doing, bro. You know what you were doing. 90-10 Muwap. No, the thing is, 90-10 ain't even like that far off from a regular contract in major labels. Like, what do you think these little TikTok kids get? Not the ones that like have a hit song, but like somebody who has a good, like people who have, you know, kind of a buzzing song that could go off, and like they just need that extra marketing, and so they sign their life away. Because I mean, let's be real, a lot of these artists do not come from much, so a little $30,000 check, like that's like $1 million to them. I mean, even to me, $30,000 is a lot of money. Like, damn, like shit, I could go buy a little Tesla with that. At least put a down payment on something. So that's why people are so quick to do it. But anyway, let's see what he said. So it's firstly a screenshot, something Santana, sign me. I get a lot of these too. I'm like, yo, shut up. You don't want to get signed. Work on your own career before you get signed. Like, it does not make sense at all.
Ask me to sign.
And yes, Can is signed to Empire, I believe, or at least he dropped an album with them. I don't know how many albums it is. Empire is usually like a half and half, indie, major, whatever it is. It's got the resources of a major, but like normally they don't push as much.
I'm gonna really sign you, bro. 1090.
And yes, Jace is signed to Interscope. It's like Simply Stupid, and then it's underneath Interscope.
You get 10%, I'm getting 90% of all your shit, and you in a 360 deal. Oh God. Stop asking me to sign y'all niggas. I'm already start putting y'all niggas in fucking, man, who got crazy contracts? I'm gonna put y'all niggas in a Jace contract. Y'all niggas gonna have to drop 100 songs a week. Like, literally 100 songs a week to fulfill that shit. I'm gonna sue your ass.
Yo, first of all, that's funny. Because Jace does drop so much music. I think Jace does it himself though. I don't think his label is telling him to do shit. I think he drops on SoundCloud and just sees which one hits, and then they put it on all streaming platforms. But his SoundCloud is essentially like his Finsta, or like, you know, they just let him do his thing. Now, I don't know about his deal though. I think he was in a bad deal a while back, and then he signed again to Simply Stupid. Don't, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't really know much about his deal, but I don't think they're I don't think that they're forcing him to drop. He couldn't show a 20 ball. All these artists could show 20 balls. Come on, $20,000 when you're a grown up, when you're an adult male, it's not that much money. Now, to having cash though, that's ridiculous. You stupid if you have even $10,000 in cash, $5,000 even. I don't remember the last time I've had over like $200 in cash. It's been literally like at least 5 years. Why Yeet take down his 2020 album? I'm so me. I didn't even notice that. So technically he's dropped 7 projects in 3 years. That's crazy. Anyway, continuing.
Y'all see nobody ain't asking no more. Niggas not asking to get signed no more.
Yeah, you get it. But as I was saying with like actual artists, I mean, if you recall with like the Uzi deal back in the day, he was saying how he, for EXO Tour Life, he only got like 900K out of the 4.5 million. That's 20%, I believe, right? 900 times 5 is 4.5 mil. So the artist usually makes 20%, and that was Uzi, who's fucking fire. Okay, and I can only imagine Don Cannon and DJ Drama are nice guys and they see potential, so they're like, okay, well, you know, I always think that when you're in a business deal, it's better not to fuck people over, because in the long run, like if they have a good deal on their side, like they'll continue to work with you and it'll make more money in the long run as opposed to litigation and whatever. Not that I've made enough money to get like sued and shit, but just theoretically here. So 20%. Now think about an artist who has no clout. And Uzi was, I think he got like play on the radio and shit, so he had a little bit of buzz in Philadelphia. But imagine you have like 500 followers on Instagram. How much do you think these labels are giving you? You're lucky if you get 1%, and they give you $1,000 advance. Like low-key, you're getting more than them because they're taking a risk on you, and now you get to rep like, oh yo, I'm signed to a label, bro. And nah, Uzi's deal wasn't even bad. Like 20% is regular. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say good or bad, but because it really depends on like how much you get out of it. How, like, if Uzi didn't get that advanced money and they didn't push him, like he wouldn't be where he is today. Or I like to think like talent always rises. Y'all get my standpoint on that, but still 20% is just normal in the industry. I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna say good or bad, but the labels on these type of artists are putting millions and millions in, so like of course they're gonna expect an 80% return over 10 years or something like that. That's how businesses run. Yeah, Drake, I don't even think got a 50-50 split. But the thing is, when you're a Drake, or when you're a Trippy, or when you're a even Cardi at this point, even though he's probably in his deal still, or even Uzi, at some point it gets to a point where you're not even really signing for like percentages. You're signing for a fat ass advance, where it's like the amount of money you would have made over 10-20 years, or you sell your discography or part of your discography, which is already accruing an amount of money, and so it's easily what's the word, like evaluated for its worth. And so you can get that. So $30 million is what Trippy got. His music's probably not making $30 million in the next 3-5 years, but the label gets to promote that shit, and they'll accrue the streams and the revenue from the streams over the next 10-20 years. So like Trippy gets the money up front, almost like, you know, he's buying a house, right? And then with the leveraged money that he got up front, that can accrue more interest or money for himself than if he waited the 10-20 years to get the 30 million. I don't know if that made any sense to anybody. Bad Bunny is a 90-10 split where he's getting 90. Shit isn't, what? He's getting 90%? That shit is crazy. He must have, like, I don't even know. You have to have a crazy amount of leverage. Like, he was probably already popping before he signed that deal. Oh my god. How did 21 Savage keep his masters? I don't know. Business savvy, maybe. The thing about Drake though is he's only allowed to really sell or sign his newer music, whereas, as someone in the chat said, Quay, yeah, a lot of his discography at the very beginning of his career is through Young Money, and I believe Lil Wayne already sold like Lil Wayne's and Nicki Minaj, among other people's discographies, to one of the bigger labels for like $100 million. So that's the issue when you're a big artist as well. Like, you're signing your newer shit, and it's hard to get your masters. At the same time, sometimes you have to buy your own masters back, or If you have like a good lawyer or you have like good management or whatever, they can get you that as well. Especially, I mean, 21 Savage, I could imagine that he got put on by Metro, right, with Savage Mode. So I don't know if that was like published or was promoted. I think it was promoted, but I could imagine that since he was already in the mix, that he had good guidance. If he had like the Metro cosign so early on in his career, then I could, yeah, that makes sense. If you have connections, the people who get fucked are the ones who like come in and they have no idea what's going on with the entertainment industry. Saying that companies as huge as Warner take risks on these rappers is disingenuous because they're one of the biggest companies ever. They have hundreds of billions and they lose nothing if a bunch of artists flop. I mean, that's true, but they have the leverage. It's all about leverage. I mean, I think that argument is dumb too, respectfully, because just because somebody's richer than you doesn't mean that, and you're getting a business deal with them, doesn't mean that they have to give up more than you. In fact, you're probably going to give up more than them because they can walk away from the deal. That's who wins in every single negotiation. The person who can walk away because they got other shit on the table. So yeah, sure, like Warner or Universal or any of these major labels, it's not as much of a risk. It's just like these big banks who invest money. Like if they invest into a stock like $100 million, it's really not that risky because they have other investments that are hedging. And so these labels do that in essence as well. They hedge their bets with other artists, but still, like it all equalizes. Like they don't want to always be throwing $100 million away because what if they don't get that? It's hard to get that big hitter like a Drake or you know, some superstar. So yeah, that's my take on it. Leverage, man. Leverage is everything. They don't have to, but it isn't a risk though. No, it is a risk, but it's a risk financially. It's not a large risk in the proportion of their whole assets, their financial breakdown, but like as a whole, like if you personally were to if you were to personally lose that much money, that would be a huge risk. You'd probably be bankrupt. So it doesn't matter how much of their assets it is total or the percentage of their total. It's just about how much it is in general. Like $100 million is $100 million. It doesn't matter how much money they got. It's still a fucking risk. Yeah, whiny tugboat. Respectfully. See, this is how we have conversations and debates. I feel like a lot of people on Twitter be trying to victimize themselves. It's like, nah, bro, we're just having a conversation. It can get a little bit intense, right? But it doesn't have to get all personal.